welcome back to another special edition of the warm-up show with the hockey coach Joe Cole Friendship directly from the beautiful Sunshine State in Florida. And we have to go to find the co-host from Toronto, Ontario, the number one fans of the Montreal Canadiens, and the best of the best for all the predictions you need to know about what's going on in NHL. We welcome back Mr. ENORTAP in the house tonight.
Hello, Coach. Happy Tuesday. Hello, Hockey Nation.
Welcome aboard. A really easy night. 13 game to look about this. Going to start at 5:15, Mr. ENORTAP. They'll give you a break between 5:54, 55, 5:50, 6:45, 6:48. We're going to give you a break so you can go to the restroom, take a break, and then come back after that, finish. Because it will be really, very difficult for you to 45 minutes, all 30 games. I give you about approximately 3 minutes per game. So I know you have a lot of notes, and it will be interesting to see. But we'll see what happens. We have already some people in the chat are ready to rock and roll. And welcome back the moderator of the Hockey Nation Live Show, the Butterbean, Mr. Danny T in the house.
Hey, Danny. How are you?
From Finland, he says salut. We said salut. And we welcome back. Yamo Vertanen.
Hello, Yamo.
À la belle province de Québec, il est de retour. Welcome back, the scout. Le scout du Québec, on lui l'appelle Mr. Alexis Dubuc.
Hello, Alexis.
And the insider of the Hockey Nation Live Show for the Montreal Canadiens, the man of the man directly from Nova Scotia, will welcome back Mr. Andrew Lepage.
Hey, Andrew, how's it going?
The center ice. From Texas, everything is big. The New Jersey are in Ottawa tonight. Joseph, welcome back, Mr. Joseph LANHAM.
Hey, Joseph. 4 more nights.
Joseph, your last name in French is jambon. Okay, ham in French, Joseph, is jambon. Okay, Joseph le jambon. Il est de retour avec nous ce soir in French. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I just want to give you an expression about Joseph le jambon in French. Yamo, you have the same fantasy last night, Danny. Here we go. Oh, it was not a fantasy. Good evening, Mr. Ron with Kings 20. Welcome back.
Hi, Ron. Welcome.
Et de retour avec nous ce soir. C'est pas facile à dire. It's an easy name. It's just like take about 3 minutes to complete his name. Marc-Antoine Fugère Gélina, il est de retour avec nous. Welcome back, Marc-Antoine. Je crois que c'est la première fois à ce show que tu viens avec nous. Donc, on te rouvre les portes, on te dit bonjour et bienvenue de nous voir ce soir. Welcome back.
Bonsoir, Marc.
Alexis, les faiblesses, il y en a tellement que ça va prendre 1 heure d'expliquer c'est quoi les faiblesses. Il y en a partout. Les gardiens de but, les défenseurs, les joueurs d'avant, mon ami. Ça va pas trop bien dans le shop. Il reste 2 parties à voir. C'est terminé après ça. Donc, on va voir ce que ça va faire. Yamo, tuna meal and gel. I heard about that. Yeah, possible. Kilo, welcome back in the house.
Hey, Kilo.
Tuna fish, Mr. ENORTAP, is in Finland. Tunikala. That remind me, Tunikala, Mr. ENORTAP, that remind me when I was young. I'm sure you did. You do the same thing like me. Do you remember to play with a trucks called Tonka? Yeah, so Tony Kala is friend. Oh! Super chat, Mr. ENORTAP, already at the beginning. Jose Duarte! Welcome! Thank you! $3 super chat! Here we go! Reverse! There you go, inside. Let's do it! Jose Duarte! $3 super chat! Thank you! It's a warm-up for the game tonight, Mr. ENORTAP. That's what's happening about this.
Let me catch my breath.
I know, that's all right. Still take easy. Richard Molin, welcome back. You got the right score and the right number. Richard, you nailed it. Congratulations.
Oh my God!
You did it very well, Mr. Richard Molin.
Way to go, Richard.
My ex-player Lenny scored 1 goal, 1 assist. Yes, the Finland win today. If I can recall it, Yamo. Sweden won 4-3. Finland will play Canada on playoff. You have to right now remember those score about that. Canada lost 6-5 in OT. What was Mr. Connor Bedard today? We did not see Bedard, but we see Fantilli. And what about Pickren, the defenseman? Ooh, I love those Pickren over there, number 27, a big guy over there. My nickname for him was Lemieux. Yamo said, what's up? We run for the jail. Jose Duarte, welcome back in the show.
Hey, Jose.
Willet 80, welcome back. Willet 80, merci d'être avec nous ce soir.
Willet 80.
Mr. UNORTAP, some of them already ready here in the chat right now, so we just need to call and make a phone call at some point, because it's time to pick them up. Honestly, someone is already there, so we don't have to pick him up. He's already stay there for another extra 20 minutes, Mr. UNORTAP, but it's time for that. Not that one. Whoop. Here we go. Team SWAT, Hockey National Show driver Roger L. And the co-pilot, Mr. Danny Butterbean T. Pick up Ron Kings, Joseph LANHAM, Kilo, José Duarte, and Pierre Martin. The 5 people, the 4 of them going to join Ron and King 20 for the next 24 hours, Mr. UNORTAP. It's a long day for Roger and Danny to pick up everybody from left and right, and they put them all in the Team SWAT Hockey National Show, and they are right now going to show up at the door and give them their orange jersey, everything like that, and they're going to be there for 24 hours. So we'll be interested in what they're going to do for 5. Round was a little bit boring the last 24 hours alone. Now he have some people enjoy with him, so they have a lot of conversation. He can talk to each other.
Coach.
I'm sorry?
They didn't listen to us.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't know why. In our time, he tell you exactly what to do. You do on your own. That's why you go there. If you don't listen in our time, you're going to find the right day. You're going to be in that jail, and then Danny pick you up for sure about that. So, listen, we have to go again one more time because they deserve it. Here we go. One more time. Ron Kings 20, Joseph LANHAM, Kilo, Jose Duarte, Pierre Martin. 5 people are going to be at the jail for 24 hours after 0-1 yesterday about that one over there. At least it's just the county jail. Yeah, Joseph, you stay there. You have to go there 5 times. After 5 times, now be careful because now it's not only the SWAT team pick you up, but you stay there for a little bit longer for sure about that one over there. Talking about the driver, he just show up, Mr. UNORTAP. Go Abs, go, Mr. Roger L. The Nooner back in the house tonight. Nooner, welcome back, the red carpet.
Hey, Roger, where you been, brother? Welcome.
So we have a lot of people on this team, Mr. UNORTAP, as 1-0 yesterday, right? So we have to congratulate them, but at the end of the day, also, Mr. UNORTAP, we have to mention, like Richard Molin, have also not only 1-0, but he had the right score 3-1, and also he got the total score for 4. So we have to congrats him, Richard Molin. So congrats, Mr. Richard Molin, to get that W. And we thank you so much to be a part of the show for sure. That's what we have right now here. Let's see what we're going to get there. Go Abs, go. Joseph Lam, at least he's gone there. Coach already have the gel shirt on. No, it's red, but it's because maybe, but no, it's red. But, I'm prepared in case if I have to. But me, when I'm eating, it's okay. I never go. Because in our tap, I listen in our tap. So that's what, I know I'm not going to go to the jail. I listen in our tap, I go there, and that's happened. If you don't want to go to the jail, I'm telling you now, you have to listen in our tap. And Blackhawks fan 97 back in the house.
Welcome.
And he knew the Hawks was going to win yesterday. So, and Danny, what he did, he took Hawks just to please Blackhawks, and he pay evidence about that, Mr. That. And we have, of course, Buenos noches, Manny Benavidez in the house.
Hey, Manny, welcome.
I'm not sure, Manny. I think Ovechkin is day-to-day right now, a game decision, Manny. I don't expect him to be tonight, but I could be wrong. Maybe Yamo can mention a little bit more about him, about that. 6:14, Mr. NOTAP. We are already late. We're not going to go around. Who is in the jail? You are in the jail, Kilo. Don't ask who you are in after bad 0-1 last night. So, Mr. NOTAP, we don't go around. We just go straight there. I'll give you 1 minute. Drop that puck. That's it. That's all. Let's do it.
There's nothing to drop, Coach.
I'm sorry again? No. It's very important. You have something. Pay attention the last 24 hours.
Yeah, sure. The only thing that kind of stands out for me today, I was reading a couple things. Number one, I heard that Shea Weber will be flying in on Saturday after the season ends to do a press conference, what they usually call the post-mortem press conference after the season ends with Hughes and Gorton. So we'll keep our ears open to that and our eyes. I wouldn't be surprised if we, at that point, hear that he is retiring. The other piece of information is that Carey Price doesn't look good in terms of his knee. I know it's being reevaluated, and so we don't know where this could lead. Could lead to retirement if it's pretty bad. It could lead to him going on the LTIR like Weber was this year, or if the doctor deems that it's okay, the one that did the first initial operation, then we could still be on the same page and he could be possibly traded or stays here. So lots of possibilities still available. That's it.
Awesome. And great to hear that, Mr. NOTAP. We're going to talk more during the week tomorrow night about those situations for sure. Welcome, Mr. Renaud, Pierre Martin, DIXON Automobile Group. Welcome back. And, of course, Peter WYNSTOK. Welcome aboard, Peter. All four. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to click on the likes. That'd be great. And Peter, also, finally, Mr. NOTAP, Alan Barnes just turned the door, open up when Danny opened the door for Alan Barnes. Welcome.
Hi, Alan.
Aboard. Pierre, anything you're looking for eat, you have to ask the chef Danny. Danny does a lot of things over there. So ask him, he will give you what is the best, but I'm not sure. The pizza right now is not looking good over there. Go with tuna, Tony Cala, tuna fish sandwich for what we heard today about that. Renault, not a problem. In Montreal, they can accumulate more pick. That's better overall, Mr. Renault. So that gave you your answer about that one over there. We can turn off this, Mr. NOTAP. We can put the people already look like they are inside the jail, so we can move on to the next thing. And the next thing, Mr. NOTAP, is all about the 13th pick. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you one thing. We have a second page, so you can give me your prediction, but don't forget, 5 more games after what Mr. NOTAP is going to start to talk about right now. Mr. NOTAP, you have, let's do it.
Okay, let's hit these down tonight. The only one that's going to be busier than tonight, I think, is Friday. I think we have all games going on Friday night if we include that Winnipeg and Seattle game. Anyways, our first game of the night here, Detroit and Toronto. The Maple Leafs, they return home to face the Red Wings tonight, a team that they've already defeated three out of 3 times this season. So they haven't had much trouble with them. They've encountered, Toronto has 3 playoff teams during its road trip in the last week. And the results, we know what they were. They were that 8-1 shellacking at the hands of Tampa Bay, and then they fell 3-2 in overtime to the Panthers on Saturday. And finally, a very impressive win against Washington in a shootout where they came back from a 3-1 deficit to beat Washington 4-3. The Leafs are going to finish off the regular season with a home game against Boston on Friday, and with tonight's game, that gives them 82. And it looks like they're pretty much firmly entrenched in second place in the Atlantic, and will have home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs. The Austin Matthews, we're going to keep our eye open with him. He hasn't scored in any of the past 5 games, but he still remains the league leader with 58 goals. Hopefully we get to see him reach 60 with the last 2 games to go. On Sunday, Detroit began a 3-game road trip to close out its season by earning a 3-0 victory over the Devils. The Wings bounced back from a 7-2 loss at the hands of Pittsburgh in their home finale, which was on Saturday. The Wings will complete their season with another road game against the Devils on Friday. But for this game here, I'm going to take the Leafs to win this one by a score of 6-2, and that will give them 4 out of 4 against Detroit this year.
Here we go.
Okay. New Jersey and Ottawa is our next game. It's been more than 5 years since Ottawa, and I had to look at this stat a couple times. More than 5 years that Ottawa has won 4 games in a row. It's kind of hard to believe in a way. The Senators, they're going to aim to sort of get rid of this or accomplish this elusive 4-game tonight when they play the Devils. They have a good shot at it. Ottawa, this will be their 5th year in which they missed the playoffs now. But you know what? They're in position to post at least 70 points for the first time since 2016. So we see some definite improvement. We see some development happening with the team, some great youngsters, good goalies on hand. So we should see hopefully some improvement next year with them. Their 3 straight victories that they've had so far have been at the hands of Vancouver, Columbus, and Montreal, of course, the other night. While the Stars, Tkachuk, Norris, Stützle, they've combined for 39% of the team's 215 non-shootout goals this season. Parker Kelly has recorded 2 goals and 2 assists in his last 4 games, and Austin Watson has totaled 6 of his 9 goals this season in 13 April games. So that line of Watson, Kelly, and Dylan Gambrell right now has been clicking, and they look like the best line out there from what we've seen in the last little while. Senators goalie Anton Forsberg made 44 saves Saturday to earn his 20th win. Gustafsson had made 67 stops out of 71 shots and winning 2 straight prior to that. So, like I said, the goaltending has been there. The Devils, they've totaled just 36 shots on goal in their last 2 games, including a season low of 17 on Sunday to Detroit. So I'm going to go with Ottawa at home, 4-3.
We want to welcome Mr. Costa. Welcome back, Mr. Costa. And you can give us your prediction if you want to. Mr. Nicholas, thank you so much. We apologize, Nicholas, when we talk here. We cannot respond all the time, but look like you have a good conversation with Renaud. So that's good.
It's always a good conversation with Renaud.
Always.
Next, a matchup between Pittsburgh and Edmonton always carries a lot of interest, especially, when Crosby and Malkin face off against, McDavid and Draisaitl. But tonight there'll be even more on the line. The Penguins are clinging to 3rd place in the Metro, and they could they could still fall into a wild card position if they're not careful. Edmonton is trying to lock down second place in the Pacific, and it looks pretty safe for them to do that. I think maybe even a tie will do it for them, but they'll definitely go for the win. Both teams are coming off of, I'd say on Sunday, very disheartening losses. Pittsburgh was easily defeated by Philadelphia, of all teams, by a score of 4-1, which left the door open for Washington to overtake them for third in the Metro. They expect more in their final two games, both for positioning and for playoff preparation. Pittsburgh had won 3 out of 4 before Sunday's game, and this was after a 3-6-2 stretch. Edmonton was left feeling a similar way after Sunday's 5-2 loss to Columbus. A win would have definitely secured home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs for them, but they'll try their luck again tonight. In their first meeting between Pittsburgh and Edmonton on December the 1st, McDavid stole the show with a goal and 3 assists. Draisaitl had an assist as they defeated the Penguins 5-2 in that game. Edmonton will be without Darnell Nurse, who remained home after he left Friday's win over the Avalanche because of a leg injury, so they just want to give him some time to properly recuperate. Forward Puljujarvi could return from a non-COVID illness. The Penguins still are without Tristan Jarry, who has what is believed to be, again, this is unconfirmed, but it's believed to be a broken right foot. So Casey DeSmith is expected to start this game as well. I'm going to take the Oilers to lock down that second place in their division by a score of 4-2 tonight.
Sounds good to me.
And that takes us to one of the key games tonight, Florida and Boston. The Bruins begin a stretch of 3 games in 4 nights to conclude the regular season when they host the Panthers tonight. Boston returns home from the next 2 games after sweeping a weekend back-to-back, including the 5-3 win over Montreal. Eric Holla and Patrice Bergeron each scored twice, while Swayman bounced back from Thursday's loss in Pittsburgh by turning aside 23 of Montreal's shots. The win gave the Bruins, who have won 4 of their last 5, a 3-point lead over Washington for the number 1 wild card position. Florida has already clinched the top spot in the conference for the first time ever, so congratulations to them. But its franchise record 13-game win streak was snapped on Sunday by Tampa Bay by a score of 8-4. 2 teams that possibly are on a collision to meet at some point, possibly in the second round, it looks like. Reinhart scored twice, while Spencer Knight allowed 5 of the 8 goals on 17 shots, as his 5-game win streak was snapped. Reinhart, who leads the Panthers with 15 power play goals, followed Barkov, Duclair, and Huberdeau to the 30-goal mark as well, which is quite an impressive feat. The Panthers, who remain 4 points ahead of Colorado for the President's Trophy race, will look to bounce back from their first loss since March 27th in Toronto. Florida and Boston haven't met since October 27th and 30th, when the Panthers took both of those games 4-1 and 3-2. And I think they'll complete the trifecta here and defeat Boston by a score 3-2.
Welcome, Mr. John Lowry, and also Kelly. Welcome back. And I missed one more. John Grega. Welcome also, everybody.
Welcome, guys.
Thanks to be a part of the show tonight.
Welcome. All right, so that brings us to a very tough matchup. Carolina and New York Rangers. Carolina has reached perhaps the most or the defining moment of their regular season on a bit of a roll, and that are in a tough spot because of their goaltending situation with the injuries that have happened there. In tonight's important showdown between the host Rangers, the Hurricanes might be counting on Kochetkov in his third career NHL game. In his first two games on the road trip, you know, he was okay. It was the first outing against New Jersey, and then um, he looked okay. But obviously, it's not the situation Carolina wants to be in as they get closer. Now, Antti Ranta is the backup tonight, so that's got to be a little bit good news for them, because obviously if he was seriously hurt, then he wouldn't even be in that position. But it's been very quiet in terms of Anderson and his diagnosis. So, we'll see. Maybe an extra week will give him some time to properly heal. Carolina can wrap up the Metro with a win tonight. The Rangers must win to stay alive for the divisional crown. The Hurricane finished Thursday night at home against the Devils. The Rangers will be playing after a 2-day layoff and with 3 straight home games against Montreal and Washington on Friday to finish off the slate, including obviously tonight's game. So the Hurricane have rattled off 4 consecutive victories despite their goaltending situation since the Rangers pulled even in the standings. Kochetkov isn't the only Hurricane rookie coming through for them. Forward Seth Jarvis has scored in 3 straight games and has a 5-game point streak. So there's some added depth that they were desperately in search for. It'll be Carolina's second visit to Madison Square Gardens this month after a 4-2 victory on April the 12th. Since then, the Rangers have won 4 games in a row before that loss to Boston 3-1 on Saturday. But they haven't allowed a goal in their last 2 home games. So I'm going to take the Rangers to win tonight by a score of 3-2. And in the game of the battle of the goalies, we have Merzlikins and Vasilevsky going head to head tonight. Tampa Bay are flexing their muscles as they head towards the playoffs. Fresh off of a visit to the White House, they'll look to secure their 50th win of the season for the 4th time in their franchise history when they host the Blue Jackets. The team will reconvene. The 2 teams will reconvene and play again on Thursday, but in Columbus. Tampa Bay knocked off Florida in a battle of the Sunshine State supremacy on Sunday, ending the Panthers' 13-game win streak, as I mentioned before, with that 8-4 decision. The high-octane Lightning have scored 36 goals over the last 6 games, including 22 during the 3-game winning streak that they've played. Nikita Kucherov collected 2 goals and 3 assists on Sunday, and he has at least 1 goal in 6 straight games, totaling 8 to go along with 8 assists in that stretch. Stamkos, 2 goals and 2 assists on Sunday, marking a franchise best 4th consecutive contest in which he has recorded at least 3 points. His team leading 97 points are just 1 shy of his career high, which was in 2018. Also, Victor Hedman notched 4 assists for the 2nd time during his 5-game point streak. He has posted career high totals in goals, 20, assists, 61, and points, 81 this season. And a pleasant addition has been Nick Paul, who's recorded 6 points over the last 5 games. With the Blue Jackets, they're playing out the string right now. Oliver Bjorkstrand and Voracek each notched 3-point performances on Sunday as Columbus snapped the 4-game winless skid with that 5-2 win over the Oilers. Bjorkstrand's 25 goals are just one behind Patrick Laney, who's been sidelined with a upper body injury. So I'm going to go with Tampa Bay to continue their winning ways as they roll into the playoffs by a score of 4-1.
Don't forget to click on the likes. And I appreciate everybody so far.
Okay, our next game is the Islanders and Washington. No love lost here, for sure. The Capitals still have hopes of climbing out of a wild card position and into third place in the Metro while sitting 1 point behind the Penguins. They take another step towards that goal at home tonight with the rematch set for Thursday at Long Island. Both teams were off Monday after absorbing defeats at home Sunday. The Caps blew a 3-1 lead to Toronto and ended up losing in the shootout 4-3, while the Islanders lost to the Hurricane by a score of 4-2. The loss may have been extra costly for the Capitals, who played the final period and a bit without Alex Ovechkin. He exited after he tripped over, I believe it was the goalie's Shalgren's stick, and then he went crashing into the board, and it looked like it was a left shoulder injury, or at least that's what absorbed most of the impact. The comeback by the Leafs also cost the Capitals a chance to at least temporarily move into third place. They do have a game in hand on the Penguins, so we'll keep our eyes open to see where that leads. The third place finisher in the division will face the second place team, currently the Rangers, who have 108 points. The Rangers are 4 points behind first place Carolina, heading into the game between these two teams, as I mentioned. And the Islanders have gone respectable 15, 13, and 2 since March 1st, but have lost 3 points in the standings to the Capitals. They're just at the end of their line too here. I'm going to go with Washington to win this at home by a score of 4-2.
Ovechkin is out.
Yeah.
And I want to welcome Bryce Garrett and also Real Deal
Hey,
Prim.
Bryce.
Welcome, both of you.
Welcome, guys.
And the Islanders does not dress Shara and Brooke Nelson. Both are not due to the COVID, but illness.
Yeah, there's some kind of illness that's been hitting a couple of teams lately, and they've been.
It's called the end of the season.
Games. Yeah, probably. Non-playoff-itis, I think. Next game, the Predators may be struggling down the stretch, but those frustrations can be washed away when they play host to Calgary tonight. Nashville is in a 3-4-2 slump and coming off of Sunday's disappointing 5-4 overtime loss at Minnesota. However, they can clinch a playoff spot with a regulation time win over the Flames tonight. That's because Vegas and Dallas will be meeting head-to-head, which we'll talk about in a second. Between the opportunity to punch a ticket to the playoffs and the fact his team holds the Western Conference first wild card playoff spot with 3 games remaining, their coach John Hines is keeping the situation as a positive as possible, as much as possible, though they wound up on the wrong end of a back and forth game with the Wild. Seeing the bright side is the best course of action for the Predators. After all, they are close to advancing, and anything is possible once the playoffs start. And they have some very nice players at different positions that could do some damage in the playoffs. A 6-3 victory over the Vancouver Canucks on Saturday has the Flames having recorded the second highest point total in their franchise history. However, they don't plan to coast to the end because of the bad memories they have from 2019. After they won the Western Conference regular season title, and then were eliminated in 5 games at the hands of the Avalanche. Just some milestones this year. I know we've talked about them, but they deserve repeating here. Johnny Gaudreau, whose next game, which is tonight, will be his 600th of his career. He's amassed 111 points this year, the second most in a season in a franchise history. He only trails Kent Nilsson, who did it in 1980 with 131 points. Matthew Tkachuk has netted 40 goals and 101 points. Who else? Lindholm has recorded his 40th goal, and he has, I think, 80 points on the season. Andrew Mangiapane has 35 goals, almost twice as much as his previous high. So that's great to see. And, even seeing breakout years from players like Dylan Dubé, who has a career best of 16 goals, is, all positive things for them going forward. So I'm going to take, I think Nashville will have to keep waiting before they officially are in the playoffs, because I'm going to take Calgary to win this one 4-3.
We have the same score.
Nice.
All right. I have to go next one.
Okay. So that would be Arizona and Minnesota. Well, the Wild will bid to extend their winning streak and maintain home ice advantage in the Central when they play the Coyotes tonight. The Wild have won 5 straight, and they're 8-0-2 in their past 10 games. They're currently in second place in the division, tied with the Blues, but they also have a game in hand, so they have a little bit of play room there for themselves. But I don't think they'll need that. I think they'll be fine, and they should get second place. Minnesota snared its most recent triumph in the final seconds of overtime Sunday against Nashville. They did so without several key players who were missing, like Matt Zuccarello was missing, Marcus Foligno was missing, Jordan Greenway, Matt Dumba was out. Their captain, Jared Spurgeon, left the game as well in the first period with an upper body injury. So that's pretty impressive. Without 5 of their key players, they still managed to win. And part of that is because of, we know Kaprizov, of course, but Fiala continues to tear it up in the final days of the season. He had a goal and an assist against Nashville to extend his point streak to 10 games, during which he has 10 goals and 13 assists. He recorded multiple points in each of his last 5 games for 7 times overall during that streak. The Coyotes, they've lost 10 in a row, with all but 2 of those defeats coming in regulation. It's the second time this season that they've had a double-digit slide after starting the season off, if you recall, with 11 straight losses. The single standings point combined with a Montreal loss moved the Coyotes out of last place overall in the NHL standings. Both are at 51 points, but Arizona has a game in hand. I don't think this should be too much of a contest, especially at home. I take Minnesota to win this one 6-1.
5-2.
Okay, takes us to a definite NHL playoff game here. Vegas and Dallas. What can you say about Vegas? They've left so many points on the table, it isn't funny. Not the least of which was that game against San Jose the other night. They're going to try to keep their slim playoff hopes alive when they begin a 3-game road trip starting tonight against Dallas. Vegas trails Dallas by 3 points with 3 games to go. The Golden Knights, who hold the regulation wins tiebreaker over the Stars so far by looking at their RW. They're up 33-30. but they no longer control their own destiny in the playoff race after coughing up a valuable point in that loss to San Jose. Vegas is also 4 points behind Nashville for the first wild card spot. The Predators still must play Calgary and Colorado before ending the season off with Arizona, which has lost 17 of its last 19 games. Dallas still has home games with Arizona and Anaheim, which is 3-14-5 in their last 22 games. Vegas finishes off the season against Chicago and St. Louis. So basically, it's pretty much Vegas has to win these games. This one is an absolute must. They cannot tie. They cannot lose. They have to defeat Dallas if they want to continue. And I think it all ends tonight for Vegas in my eyes. I think Dallas at home, who has a record of 25-10-3, will put an end to this by a score of 3-2.
4-3.
Okay, takes us to St. Louis and Colorado. Should be a nice battle here as well. A week ago, the Avalanche were riding a 9-game winning streak and looking to reach 60 wins and another President's Trophy. Now they're just, they're hoping to find some positive heading into the final 3 games of the regular season, as they are currently on a 4-game losing streak. St. Louis is in a battle with Minnesota for second place in the Central. They've won 3 straight and are 14-0-2 since March 26th. And basically, they've been peaking at the right time. It is a similar situation to 2019 when St. Louis went from one of the worst teams in January to Stanley Cup champions 5 months later. The Blues need some help to overcome the Wild in the standings because, as I said before, Minnesota has a game in hand, and currently they have the same number of points. What can you say about the trio of Robert Thomas, Buchnevich, and Tarasenko? They've combined for 30 goals and 49 assists in the past 16 games. Leading scorer Mikko Rantanen didn't play on the road trip due to non-COVID illness, and Devon Toews, half of the top defensive pairing, stayed at home for the 3 games. While the losses don't impact the seeding, Bednard wasn't happy after Sunday's 4-1 loss to Winnipeg and wants the team to kind of get back, to what it made them successful for the first 75 games. Landeskog, it doesn't right now. They're hoping he might get 1 game in before the end of the season, but even that's up in the air. If you recall, he had knee surgery about 5 weeks ago, and he hasn't played since. Although he has been skating with the team, but he hasn't been cleared to play as of yet. I'm going to take Colorado to win this one 4-3. And coach is going to take St. Louis. Watch. No, he took Colorado. Wow. Okay.
They play home.
Okay. And the last game of the night, Seattle and Vancouver. What can we say here? The Canucks, they're 6 points out of, the Western Conference second and final wild card berth with 3 games to go, starting with this one against Seattle. They've lost 3 in a row, including that 6-3 game against Calgary. The Canucks are 30, 15, and 9 ever since Boudreau took over, which is quite impressive. So mathematically, they're still alive, but it's such a long shot that it's really not worth mentioning too much. Vancouver's Quinn Hughes had a goal and an assist on Saturday's loss to tie the franchise record for points in a season by a defenseman with 63. That was set back in 1986 by Doug Lister. Hughes also set the Canucks record for assists by a defenseman with 56. The Kraken posted their first three-game win, winning streak last week, but they blew 2-goal leads in back-to-back losses to Minnesota and Dallas on Friday and Saturday. Matty Beniers had his 5-game point streak snapped Saturday, one shy of the NHL record shared by Wayne Gretzky for longest streak to start a career for an expansion team. The Kraken allowed 3 second-period goals against the Stars after giving up 5 in that same frame to the Wild. The Canucks have won the first 3 games between these two teams and will look to sweep the season series, and I believe they will do it, but it might be a close game. I'm going to go 3-2.
And we have a new subscriber, Michael Agdale. And Mr. John Laurie said, why did you don't take St. Louis?
Who, me or you?
Yeah, you.
Me? I didn't take St. Louis.
Because I copy you.
You want to make sure you win this, don't you? You're not going to give me a chance to overcome you. Yeah, and I think I mentioned that was the last game, but it isn't. We have one more. We have Anaheim and San Jose. Not a big impactful game in terms of the standings. Two teams that are out of it right now and will continue to be out of it. Life starts today in the post-Ryan Getzlaf era, since he retired the other night at home and will not be traveling with the team in the final 2 games of the road trip. In his 17-year career with Anaheim, he played at least 1,000 games and scored. He got to 1,000 points, which is quite impressive. We talked about him the other night. Just a great story, great player, great leader, and he was very instrumental in the cup that they won as well. Anaheim hopes to finish its roller coaster of a season on a high note. They're 3-14-5 in their past 22 games, guaranteeing that they'll miss the playoffs for a 4th straight season. Following the game against the Sharks, Anaheim will wrap up its season on Friday against Dallas. The Ducks have just 7 victories. That's it, just 7 victories since the All-Star break. But 2 of those 7 have come against the Sharks, believe it or not. Anaheim beat San Jose 4-3 and 3-2 on March the 6th. The Sharks came back with a 4-1 win in San Jose just recently, March 26th, when Timo Meier got his hat trick. The Sharks should enter the game against Anaheim feeling cheerful after rallying to beat Vegas 5-4 in a shootout. A very exciting game on Sunday, ending an 11-game losing streak against the Golden Knights and putting them on the brink of elimination for the first time in team history. After the Sharks host Anaheim, they'll finish off the season with road games against Edmonton and then Seattle on Friday. So I'm going to go with San Jose to win this one by a score of 3-1.
Sounds good to me. Kelly go with Fiala. Awesome. I need to know, Mr. Cole, ENORTAP, your score.
Oh, that's a good question. I think I have 77.
77. E- 80.
Okay.
Welcome back, Pierre Martin. I got your pick anyway, so that's good. And finally, at the end, this game last night is going to destroy me for the playoff, for the fantasy with only one game. But Mr. ENORTAP took back the lead now by 4 points. And that's where you at that moment.
So you pick first, Coach.
I did it. I took, I don't know. I don't think so. I changed my team yesterday. I did not change my team. Still have Philadelphia.
Oh, no, no.
I
You
cannot
want me to
remember.
give
I
you
did
your?
that. Which, do you remember
You told me,
which
yeah,
one I
yeah.
took? What?
You took Minnesota,
I took Minnesota, right?
yeah,
Okay.
and
My
then your
player, all right.
defense,
It's just
yeah.
my
Oh,
team. It's just
oh,
my
just the team.
the name of my
Yes,
team, Mr. ENORTAP.
yeah, yeah. You got it. You got it. That's right. And I will go with Tampa Bay as my team, and my defensemen. I'll take Riley and Hannafin, and my forwards. I'm going with Kaprasov, Fiala, and McKinnon.
Awesome. That's great. Danny, I don't have your score. Danny, if you can tell me, you're the only one. I miss your score. I don't have a lot of fantasy. Not fantasy plus, not too bad. But Danny, I don't have your total score. Jean Grégoire just said McDavid. And that's pretty much it. First pick is Fila. That is Kelly. Blackhawks. I don't have your total score altogether. By the way, Mr. Blackhawks, if you want to give it to me, you're welcome to give it to me. That's not a problem. Too many to count, coach. No worries about that. All right, I'm going to give you easy 74 for you. So you got 74. Coach, did you get my leave 6-2? I got 5-2 at the beginning, but I will give you 6-2 now.
All right, Kelly, you agreed with me.
I will send you a copy of that text. Yeah, our total color is 80. Like me. There we go. Mr. ENORTAP, what are you looking for tonight? We have 5 minutes, a little bit, but what are you looking for tonight?
Oh my gosh, Coach! There's 13
By the
games.
way, Mr. ENORTAP, before
Yeah.
before you start, each one of you can pick one person who's going to be in the jail. I'm just kidding.
That's an easy one. Yeah, these 13 games, 9 of them are very impactful in terms of playoff positioning. We could wake up tomorrow morning and we're pretty much set in terms of who's in the playoffs. Maybe not the full positioning yet, but very close to it. Or we might have to go these last 3 nights, especially Friday night, to get the final results for that. But at the top of the list for tonight is the Vegas and Dallas game. Absolute must win for Vegas, as we said. The Dallas wants to end this. They're at home where they play extremely well and are difficult to defeat, especially if they get the first goal, right? We'll see how Thompson holds up under these kind of circumstances. It's going to definitely be an atmosphere, playoff atmosphere. Expect some rough play. It'll be a heavy game by both teams. The other game that holds a lot of water as well, the Carolina and the Ranger game. Um, you know, Depending on how things go, we could see a matchup with the Rangers uh, if they win, um, or even if Washington jumps ahead of Pittsburgh, we could see a first round matchup between the Rangers and Washington, which would be very interesting when we think back to the history between those two teams and what Wilson did last year with Panarin and the reason why the Rangers went out and got Reeves. So that would be a very interesting playoff matchup as well. The other teams, just thinking at the top of my head, Calgary and Nashville. Again, extremely important for Nashville. They can take care of business tonight and ensure that they're in. If they lose, they got a couple of tough games coming up. I was looking at these 3 teams, Coach, Nashville, Dallas, and Vegas, And there's all sorts of permutations that can still happen here. Nothing is guaranteed for any one of those three teams. I think Vegas has the most difficult route. But there's even a scenario where all three will finish tied, could finish tied in points by the end of the year. And at that point, we look at their regular wins, and we have Nashville has 35, Dallas has 30, and Vegas has 33. So it looks like Dallas would lose out in that scenario.
Busy night for sure. We're going to do Toronto at Detroit at 7:05. We'll be back in 5 minutes, and then we're going to follow up with the game everywhere, where we're going to pick it up Dallas and Vegas a little bit later after the game Toronto. So that's where we are on the program, Mr. ENORTAP tonight. We wish everybody good luck for your prediction. Ken, the biggest question of my what I'm looking for, Mr. ENORTAP, I have only one, honestly.
Can Matthews
Ron
score?
Kings 20 stay in the jail for 3 straight nights. And that's what I'm looking for tonight. So we'll be interesting what's going to happening. Until then, Mr. ENORTAP, you are awesome. Here we go. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. Thank you so much, everybody, for your participation and all your prediction tonight. We have everything set up, and Mr. Caleb Souls, welcome back. Don't forget before you leave to click on the like. That'd be awesome. But before we leave, one more time, be well, be healthy. Find a way not only dominate your day, but find a way to dominate what, Mr. ENORTAP?
Year 2022.
Here we go. Have an amazing, great night, everybody. See you a little bit later. Thanks so much, Mr. ENORTAP, for another time with the warm-up show. Have a great night.
You too.
What's going on now? Is this another breakdown? You and me, should I say so? We're just putting on a show. What do I know? I need to open my eyes and get a touch of that reality. Don't want another surprise.